So let's discuss the techniques on how to get each one of those things out of a person. And you saw in that example in the produce department that we just said one sentence and got the person to reveal sensitive information that typically we don't talk about in westernized countries. Sex and income are things that we don't discuss in public. And we typically don't ask about them either. So let's go through this really quick. The first technique is called a provocative statement. So if you're taking notes, this is any statement that's designed to get a response out of another person. And it could be anything, but they typically start with so, the word so, or I bet, or it sounds like, or it looks like, or I can imagine. A lot of those statements. So somebody says, oh, I've been driving for Uber for 3 years. And we start out with a provocative statement by saying, I bet you've got some crazy stories. And the person starts talking and opening up. And then they tell you one quick crazy story. And then you say again, another provocative statement. It sounds like you have seen some crazy stuff. I bet. There's another provocative statement. I bet that's not even the worst. Then they keep talking, and they keep talking about stuff that's probably taboo, because Uber drivers see a lot of crazy crap in the back of their car. And next we have informational altruism. So what this means, this is what we were using in the hourglass or sandwich example earlier. I'm sharing a piece of information that I want to get back. And altruism is a strong tie in all of human behavior, because altruism triggers us to want to give back. If someone gives us something, we have a natural tendency to want to give it back. But it also works in reverse. And I'll tell you how. If the person reveals something about themselves that's very sensitive, then we can do the same thing back. So once they reveal something sensitive, they're a little bit vulnerable. They might be thinking, oh shit, I probably shouldn't have said that. But the moment that we say something back that's equally sensitive or equally revealing, then they feel comfortable with it. And now it becomes an open exchange of ideas. So the altruism can work both ways. We have altruism where we give something first, and then we have reverse altruism where they give something and then we offer something similar to make them feel okay with giving us information. And keep in mind, this is not what you think it is. It's not for what you think it's for. And next we have flattery, and we're getting someone to talk. Remember that the self-effacement, the response to flattery, is a digging tool. So we're using this human trait as an informational digging tool. So let's say I give somebody a compliment. I say, you know what, it looks like a fantastic job everybody did there, but I'm really glad you were the one that led everything. You made it all happen. And their natural response might be, oh no, it wasn't me. We had a really good team together. We've got a lot of guys here that were working their hardest. And then I do it again. So I got some information out of them, didn't ask a question. And then I say, yeah, I know you had a good team, but there's always one person who pulls everything together. And they say, yeah, well, we outsourced a lot of our stuff to China. We're not really supposed to talk about it, but there's a lot of stuff coming in from all different angles that made this whole thing happen. So now we get more information, maybe more than we should. And I would never layer more than 3 of those in a conversation. So I would typically wait to do the flattery until you're in the middle of the sandwich, so to speak. So flattery is a digging tool for information. Next, we're going to do eliciting complaints. And this is more typical with people who are not in a C-suite and are not high up in a company. You're not going to find a guy with a top secret clearance who's going to complain very much about secret stuff. But anytime you want to get complaints, what if you got into an Uber and you used something to make them complain about Uber? You might develop a rapport with that person. So provocative statements, you get into the Uber, they say they've been driving for 4 years, and you say, I bet Uber takes really good care of you guys. Now we're triggering a need to correct the record and a need to elicit complaints by using a provocative statement. All of these blend together. And they say, what? No, they don't take good care of us at all. We make crap money, and then we start getting more information about what it's like to be an Uber driver. We're getting into this person's head, and we haven't asked a question yet. Not one question. So with informational altruism also applies to eliciting complaints. You want to complain about one thing first, or if they complain about one thing and then you want to do it as well. Let me move my video out of the way here. Word repetition is also considered to be theme repetition. Theme repetition happens when a person gives us a piece of information. Let's say where they work, what they do for a living, anything they give us, and we just mirror back some piece of what they said, maybe in different words. So we're just talking about the theme of what they said. So they say, oh, I've been in marketing for 20 years. And we come back and like, wow, that's got to be impressive. Just selling and talking to lots of people. I'm just paraphrasing what I personally view marketing is. And if I'm wrong, guess what? I'm triggering a need to correct the record as well as doing theme repetition, which is going to make them talk twice as much. All we're really doing is repeating a little bit of a theme of what they said. And we could start with the word so. So basically, you guys are just doing X, Y, and Z. And then they'll continue to talk. And down here at the bottom of the word repetition, it says use silence to draw out more. And that's when you have to be able to be comfortable with silence and just stay behind your eyes, stay in your own head and enjoy it and know that you're doing it so the person will continue to speak.